change the oil and change the air filter on a Onan 5500 generator. All right, howdy folks. You gotta ask yourself, what is all this cool stuff I got in front of me? Well, it goes to that generator right there. Now, we've got a 2022 Grand Design Momentum 376 THS. Comes with a 5500 Onan generator made by Cummins. And you have to change oil in it. Now, the manufacturer recommends after break-in at your first 20 hours, you change oil. And then after that, the interval is at 150 hours. You're about 2 weeks to the Grand Design Rally, right?
End of February.
Yep, down in Quartzsite. So we're kind of looking forward to that, and we're going to be relying on this generator because we'll be boondocking there. So just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and change oil a little early. So I'm going to show you how I change oil. And that's pretty simple. So if you're out there and you're thinking to yourself, I am a little scared to change oil, it's not a big deal at all. I'm going to show you how easy it is. So if you're on the fence on whether you should do it yourself or pay somebody to do it, I think you can do it yourself just by getting yourself a filter and a couple quarts of oil. That's all you need, and it's really easy to do. I'm going to walk you through it step by step and show you how I do it, and we'll get this thing changed before we head out in a couple weeks. So I'll see you on the ground in just a few seconds. All right, first thing you want to do is start the generator up and run it for about 10 minutes. Now, when it's cold outside, the oil gets real thick and doesn't want to drain very well. So what this does is this thins the oil out, warms everything up in there, gets everything flowed through the filter and ready to drain. So then when you drain it, the oil will come out a lot easier. So I just ran it for about 10 minutes. It's warm to the touch. I'm going to go ahead and open up the, this is the filler cap. Here's where you check the oil. So you're going to open up this filler cap and just leave it on there so no dirt or any dust gets in there. And then we're going to open up this drain here into this drain pan and start the draining process of the oil. All right, this little tiny hose right here coming through here is attached to your drain valve, which is up top, which is right here. That is your drain valve right there. Focus in on that right there. That's your drain valve right there. When you turn that little petcock, the oil comes out of there, out of the bottom of the case drain, and goes and comes out right here into this and will drain into your drain pan. This black thing you see right here, that's your filter. I like what they did here. They've actually put the filter down below this mesh, which allows you to be able to get some channel locks on it real easy to break that thing loose. So it makes it really easy to change oil. So I'm going to go ahead and start draining this, and then we'll pull that filter as soon as we get all the oil drained out. All right, there we go. We got oil coming out of it. It'll just take about 5 minutes or so for all the oil to come out of it. Now, the refill back into the generator is 2 quarts from the manufacturer. I always keep 2 quarts per filter that I have. So when I change out the filter, just throw 2 more quarts in. And that seems to be just about the right amount of oil. All right, looks like all the oil is drained out. So I'm going to close this drain petcock here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the filter out. All right, it's done. Now I use Cummins parts, just because I want to use what the manufacturer recommends. I also use the Cummins oil. Probably pay a little bit more money for it, but in the long run, if anything happens and I have to do any kind of warranty claims on the generator, I've used the manufacturer's recommended oil with their name brand on it, as well as their filter, so they can't use anything like that against me if something goes wrong with the generator. So just for the safe state of mind, I use probably the more expensive parts, but I'm sure you could get these at any of the auto parts stores. Would probably have this filter. You could probably find it on Amazon, as well as the recommended oil is in the manual for the weight of oil and the viscosity. This happens to be SAE 15W40 is what they recommend. So take my glove off because I think I'm gonna probably wear some oil. Put my sleeves up as well, because I know the oil's coming. I never do this without getting oil on myself. All right. Okay, I'm gonna dump the oil in the pan here out of it. And there's your oil filter. I'll set that right there. Now it's just a matter of wiping up the mess and putting the new oil filter in. Now what I'm going to do before I install the new one, you'll see this O-ring right here. This is what seals against the bottom of the generator, which keeps the oil from leaking out. So I'm going to take a little bit of this fresh oil out of this bottle. I'll stick my finger in there and then rub that oil around this seal here for a little bit of lubrication, so you don't have that put on dry, and then it'll help keep the O-ring from tearing or actually moving in place by putting a little bit of lubrication on it. And then it'll be good until the next oil change. One more thing I like to do after I've got the filter out, I like to wipe this out real good. I'll even stick this up inside, kind of clean where the O-ring goes and make sure I get all the dirty oil out of there. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's inside there. You can kind of see where the filter seals, the O-ring seals against the metal there. We got that nice and clean in there, very shiny. That's what you want to do. Make sure you don't have any dirt, anything in there. I like to wipe all this off around here as well, because the dirt and dust will stick to it driving down dirt roads. So I kind of overkill everything and make sure I clean all the oil from everything, so I don't have a big oily mess in here on the next oil change. Okay, everything is clean and ready to put up in there. I'm going to go ahead and pop this oil open. Stick my finger down in this, and then I'm going to put that oil on that O-ring there. And that'll help seal everything and keep from tearing the O-ring. I guess it's technically not an O-ring. It looks more like a gasket on this, but kind of like an O-ring. Right. All right, time to put the filter in here. This goes right in, and then you just got to kind of jiggle her around there. I go up and down a little bit a few times to get the seal around the filter in the proper position, which you see it is. And now just kind of start threading it in, feel for the threads. I got a good start now. You can see it's in, and it's going in nice. And the seal, the gasket, is around it. Looks real good. And we'll just kind of snug that up a little bit more than hand tight, and should be good. Add 2 quarts in. There's also one thing I found you got to be careful of. This fills very slow, so when you add the 2 quarts, don't just honker in there, because you're probably going to wear a bunch of the oil. So do this. It's a little time consuming, But if you don't want to make an oil mess, just take your time and slowly add that oil. Now, when we get done, the factory recommendation for the oil level is between the full and the add line on your dipstick. And now when you check this, you don't actually just set it in, pull it out and check it. You set it in, thread it all the way down as far as it goes, then back out. Then check your oil level. You want to make sure it is between the full and the add mark. So it should be anywhere in here is fine. Now, too much oil can cause the generator to burn a lot of oil, and too little oil can damage the engine, undue wear to the engine. So you want to make sure that that oil level is correct. Got this all clean. I'm going to put this out of the way where it won't get in the dirt and get dirty. So I'm going to set it up here. Matter of fact, I'm going to clean this off up here. Got a little bit of dust there. And then I'm going to go ahead and set this up there in the napkin, out of the wind and dirt. And we're going to go ahead and start adding oil. Make sure the funnel is also clean. If you have a bunch of dirt inside the funnel and you add the oil in there, you could get that dirt inside the engine. That's not good. And then we're done. We're going to check the air filter. Now, the air filter recommendations for changing it is at every 150 hours or condition. So we'll take it off, see what it looks like. I do have another filter. I'm going to go ahead and just change this filter out anyways, and just put the other one in. So we're going to do that next. One down, one to go. You can start. All right, got the cap on, and we're going to go ahead and just start it up for a second, prime it. Sorry, finger. Now we should notice the oil level has dropped in the filler neck here. Sure has. Ooh, it's nice and clean too. I notice right around the 50-60 hour mark the oil starts to get a little bit dirty. So I typically start changing the oil a little early. I kind of go by, if the oil starts getting dirty, I just change it, even if it's early. 150 is what's recommended. We're changing this one here at only about 60 hours on it, 65 hours, something like that. It was just getting a little on the dirty side, and I want to just make sure that the oil stays real clean. all the way in, and then all the way out. You can see we are about the exact half distance between full and add. So we can actually go a little bit more. Go ahead and just run it. Okay, we're going to check it again. Now, one thing that I want to add here is with the door off, you don't want to run the generator too long, especially if it's real hot outside. We're pretty cold out here today. It's in the 40s, so the temp's not real hot outside. But without the door on, you don't get the proper cooling. This is designed to draw air from the bottom for actual cooling. And if you have the door off, it doesn't allow that to take place as much as with the door on. So if you're going to run it for an extended amount of time, put the door back on and make sure the door is secure before you do it. Again, you can overheat the generator by running it with the door off. So you saw we only ran it for just less than 30 seconds just to check the oil again. Once we're done here, we'll run it for about 10 minutes and then recheck the oil, and we should be done. Yep, looks like it's just about where it needs to be, I think. It's almost to the full line, just below it, which is good. As long as you're not too full and you're not below the add mark. Yeah, we are perfect. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and check the air filter. You've got these metal clips right here. You got one on this side, two on this side. If you pull on these clips, then this piece will pop out and then down from the top. And then this is your filter right here. We're going to pull it out and take a look at it. If it was real dirty, this would be completely full of dirt, and you'd want to change it. This one looks pretty good. We have a new one, so we're going to go ahead and just change that and save this as a spare. Okay, we got the other air filter out, and I just want to make sure that there's no dirt inside here. Everything's clear. There's the throttle body right there to the intake, so you want to make sure there's no dirt and dust in there, which there's not. So the filter has been doing its job. I just like to do a quick little clean around everything to keep everything from getting in the engine. Everything looks really good. I have no dust. So hand me that new filter in the bag. I'm going to go ahead and put this new filter in. Okay. Make sure the filter is completely inside the filter body, which it is, because you do not want anything hanging out. We don't want any air bypassing the filter itself. We want everything running through the filter. Okay, that looks like everything is in place the way it's supposed to be. Put the cover on. Now put it in on the top first. These little tabs go in these little slits here. There we go. And then down, and then snap these locks in place. It's in. That's in. All right, all our snaps are in place. jug. And then one more thing I like to do is just look at the seal around, make sure that nothing's hanging out. You do not want any air bypassing this filter whatsoever. Okay, looks good. Now, that's how you change the oil and change the air filter on a Onan 5500 generator. Hope this helped you out. Those of you that are afraid to do it or haven't thought that they could do it, you can see how simple it is and how easy it is. I highly recommend you give it a try. There's not very hard. Save yourself a little bit of money and do the maintenance yourself. So thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe and share the video. We sure appreciate it. We'll see you out there.